Welcome everybody, another Cash Talk. I got another Heezy alum with me today. I haven't talked to you since the Vegas reunion, I think it was. But welcome, Dixon. I appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Good to be here.
What you been up to, man?
I've just been living life. I've been just slowing down.
I see that on Facebook, man. You got the bike out, you got the camera, you're doing your thing.
Yeah, I'm just like trying to live the slow life and just go out and keep it chill.
I hear that, man. You still do, what was it? State Highway Patrol?
I do IT work for the Highway Patrol.
Oh, nice. IT, nice.
Yeah.
How long you been with them?
It's been a little over 11 years now.
Sweet, congrats on that.
Yeah.
I know when we were out in Vegas, you were talking about you were in that. So that was probably about that long ago, right?
Yeah, it was about then, yeah.
What year did we even go out there?
What was that, 2011?
I think so. There was a bunch of us out there with DeWan.
Yeah, there was about like 20.
20 of us?
Yeah, like Duong, Fansett, you, Halen, Davis.
Just had his kid. Fansett had just had his kid, so he was like asleep half the time.
So that happens.
So hey man, let me ask you a question. What was your journey to Hawaii? You know,
it was a weird one.
A lot of the times when we're on the boat, right? Like we just collide. We're next thing you know, we're roommates for long periods of time, and no one really because we're young and you don't really fish around for information like that, right? You're like, you're here, I'm here, let's just do our thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of the things I've been trying to ask a bunch of people that I never had the opportunity to, is like, how did you even get there?
So I started off in A school out in Virginia Beach. So it was a long ass journey from Virginia Beach out to Hawaii.
Oh, hell yeah.
And once I got off the plane, there was nobody there to pick me up. I didn't know exactly what to do, nothing. So I just looked around. Nothing. Like absolutely nothing.
Wait.
At the airport.
And give the people some context. How old are you when this is happening?
I was 17.
That's crazy. And you're from Virginia originally, right?
Originally, yes, from Virginia.
Big town, small town?
Small town. It's a little place called Hopewell, right outside of Richmond.
Okay, all right. So yeah, like you go from a small town, now boom, you're just dropped off in Hawaii.
Yeah.
What made you pick the Navy?
Actually, I don't know. It was one of those things where it was the right place, right time. The recruiter actually talked to me like the right way.
Right.
And was like, we're not going to give you shit. You're going to have to earn everything you want. And I was like, all right, sign me up. And I was there the next day.
Sweet. So, yeah, you go through A school, right? How long was your A school?
Oh, I don't remember. Let's see. I want to say at least 6 weeks, but I don't remember. It was a blur.
I think mine was like 4. It seemed like we were only there for like a month and a half or something like that. And I was just an SH. I wasn't no OS or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I'd have to look it up.
So
it felt like forever.
How did you get to pick your orders? How'd that work for you?
The way it worked was based on your GPA in the class. Like say there's 23 people in your class, they put 23 orders on the board. And based on your GPA, you go up and select which ones you want.
Yeah, okay, so that worked the same way for me. Ours was tweaked a little bit. They did it to where whoever scored the highest on the first test got first pick. And then whoever had the highest GPA got automatic advancement to E4 6 months after the fleet. And then runner-up got automatic E3. Okay. So it was like a hybrid of the two. So what, where'd you fall in line, man? Did you get first dibs?
I think I was second.
Nice.
I got beat out by one person, but they didn't want Hawaii, so I nabbed only Hawaii on the board.
Wow. So you're like, yeah, I'm out. Take the ticket.
Yep.
Gone.
I'm like, I want to go there.
Did you have a break in between A school and Hawaii?
Nope, I went straight from boot camp to A school to the ship.
So rewind it back a little bit. So you're 17. Like, when did you graduate? How old were you when you graduated?
Well, technically, I got my GED when I was 16.
Oh, wow, nice. That's impressive.
Yeah, I wasn't that good at being in school, so I was getting in trouble for truancy.
Truancy.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what's up. So, and then you're like, all right, I'm doing this Navy thing. It sounds good. It sounds like something that can push you at least in a positive direction, right?
Well, I actually ended up going to a vocational school, so I
Okay.
became a certified welder.
Oh
But
wow.
I was still too young because I was 16 at the time.
Yeah.
And so then I'm just sitting there at the school teaching other people how to weld, basically. And then the recruiter just talked to me the day before my 17th birthday. And that night I was in MEPS.
Damn. So why not welding? Why not welding? But like, what? You're in boot camp, or you go through the maps and all that shit, and then they
Mhm.
present the job list to you and what you're available for. So you had to do pretty well on the ASVAB.
They told me I can have basically whatever job I wanted.
Right.
So like actually the guys that were helping me pick the job, they were both OSs. And
Oh,
they convinced me to take OS.
all right. What were they saying to convince you?
No, they were just talking about like the different aspects of the job and the different things you can do. You can work with aircraft, you can work with submarines and stuff like that, track them,
They didn't
and just
shit on all the other jobs and say you don't want to be in deck because of this. You don't want to do this.
there were certain jobs that
Yeah.
they did that about, but like they didn't shit on like the other options that the other recruiters were trying to push me towards.
Right. Right. All right. So you pick OS. Nail
Yeah.
that down. Go to boot camp. Anything crazy for you in boot camp? My boot camp wasn't crazy.
Not really. We had a little weird thing where they were doing some DNA testing.
Oh,
So no new recruits got bounced back to our division.
oh
So
wow.
we just kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
DNA testing for what?
I don't. They said it was like for stress levels and stuff like that. Just studying our stress
Oh
through boot
wow,
camp.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get dropped off in Hawaii. What was that like when you're getting there? What was your expectations of it?
Well, I mean, the first thing when you hop off the plane is that smell.
Yeah,
When you first smell Hawaii, like that just brought a smile to my face.
fresh
And
air.
then I'm looking around. I'm looking for some type of USO, some type of anything, and just couldn't find anything. So then I just found a guy with a military-looking haircut and asked if he was going to Pearl, and
Oh,
hopped in. And he drove around base. I'm looking for a ship with a 6-0 on the side. Didn't find it because it wasn't there.
what? Where was it at?
I can't remember. I think it was like coming back from San Diego or something.
Oh wow,
So I
workups.
ended, yeah, I ended up going to the only building with the light on, and found a way to put me in the TPU or transient unit. I was there for a couple months.
Oh really? So you were waiting for a minute. And
Yeah,
what year was it?
like
What year was that?
that was let's see, early 2000.
Okay, yeah, I got there in July 2000. So yeah, they probably were doing workups because right, we deployed like
Right after that.
August or something like that.
Yep.
So damn, yeah, man. So were you nervous at all when you're there and like you don't have nowhere? Like you're like, where what am I gonna do? Like, am I supposed to just
Yeah,
hang out here the whole time? Like, what's going on?
yeah. They put the anticipation of getting to your first ship like even further back.
Right.
But like there were a couple cool people there, like ET2 Alcantar.
Oh yeah.
We hung out a lot there. OS2 Davis.
Oh
So
wow. So
like
there was a couple people there with you.
yeah, so
Oh, that's
like
dope.
we were all going through the same stuff together.
I couldn't imagine if I would have been put in some kind of holding place with Dallas, just me and Dallas with no boat.
We were downtown every night.
Right, I figured that. I figured that. Shit, man. I know when I got there, it was a big culture shock to me. I didn't even have any expectations of what Hawaii would look like, but just getting there and like you said, getting off the plane, it's just a different smell. You know what I mean? It's just you're like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. Like it's in the middle of the ocean. You're all the way because you're from the East Coast. I'm from Ohio, kind of, but still to be that far away from home, and you're just like, dang.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a bunch of new experiences, but it was fun.
Were you rusty when like the boat finally came back and you had to go on it and do the the whole thing when you came on, or is that something you guys still did continuously while you were in the holding?
We didn't do that continuously, but I mean, you weren't that rusty because you never really had to do it that often yet. So you were still nervous to do it for real.
Well, that's real cool because, you know, you don't just get thrown onto the boat with all these strangers. You actually had some time to develop some friends that were all going to the same place. So it was you guys kind of just like all landed there together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also a couple of people from other ships out in Hawaii. So like, you know, you had a little network just outside of your own ship.
That was crazy. I didn't really have a big network outside of our ship for some strange reason. It was just like, I don't know. We just didn't hang out with anybody on the other boats.
Well, what was the point? What was the need?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh shit. I was just talking to Walls, and I totally it totally escaped my mind that he went OS later in his career, like time on the Paul Hamilton. But one of the reasons I was asking you if he gave you any pointers about being an OS, I was gonna say, I remember one of the things that I always envied most about OS is when you was in port, y'all didn't stick around for nothing.
But at the same time, we envied your schedule out to sea.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, because you guys were brutal, man. You guys were basically putting an ice locker to stare in darkness and stare at the screens.
8 on, 8 off, continuously.
Right? And then be mad at a motherfucker like me when you try to go to the store and I'm out smoking a cigarette. When you're like, I only got a couple minutes, I gotta get back. And the whole line be there waiting for me.
Yeah, like going on breaks or anything like that was just brutal with us because somebody had to cover you, and you had to rush to get back.
Right. But yeah, when you guys were in port though, man, you guys, that's always, like I said, that was cool about your division, and even your, like, you know, people in charge of you knew, like, nah, they ain't gonna be sticking around here. Where like ours were like, okay, well, you kind of got to, because any other time you're not really doing that much.
Yeah, there's like, make sure you get all your stuff done, and then you can go ahead and just take off.
Yeah, man.
Just not too early.
How did you manage? So how long was it before you turned 18 when you got to the boat?
Oh, I probably got there February, March. I turned 18 in July.
Okay, all right. Yeah, not bad.
So it wasn't forever.
All right. And then, yeah, because I was just wondering, like, the club situation and stuff like that, right? I thought it was a little,
It was rough, the club situation, but I was able to find workarounds and stuff like that. Like, I was able to get into Eurasia's and get my, like, drink on there.
Oh,
and stuff like that.
Yeah. The wristbands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What was your go-to club out there? What was your favorite spot out there?
Oh, man. Zanzibar.
Oh, Zanzibar. Why do I feel like Tony won?
Or the cellar or something like that, depending on what kind of mood I was in.
Right. You want to get fancy or you want to get grimy.
Yeah.
Zanzibar always reminded me of some Scarface shit.
And you ever go in that back VIP room in there?
Yeah, so Brian was a regular, Fancy was a regular there, and he knew the owner or something like that. So every time we go in there, he basically lived there.
Yeah, that's where I'd see him.
Yeah. He'd be down there. So, yeah, my go-to probably was the cellar or Worlds for a while early on.
Oh, yeah. Worlds was early on for me.
And then later on,
parties.
Later on it became Pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, the cellar was a grimy spot. So, like, how was it being on the boat and everybody on there knows you're like 17, 18?